putting you first. You're watching Candace Hare, Lane Robbie, and meteorologist Max Mueller. This is Rise and Shine.
Good morning, Southern Idaho. It's Wednesday, November 24th.
And thank you for waking up with us here on Rise and Shine.
Well, we've got a lot to get to this morning, but first, new this morning, we've got a developing story in Twin Falls as police are investigating a late-night shooting in a residential neighborhood. KMVT's Steve Kirch is live on the scene with more. Steve, what do we know so far this morning?
Lane, late last night at the corner of Targhee Drive and Locust, in this quiet residential neighborhood, residents were awakened to the sound of shots fired, and some are still wondering what exactly happened. Multiple agencies responded to the 1300 block of Targhee Drive around 10:45 Tuesday night for a report of a shooting. According to Twin Falls Police Chief Craig Kingsbury, officers were on scene dealing with an individual, and then gunshots were fired. Magic Valley paramedics, Twin Falls Sheriff's Office, Kimberly and Hanson Police, and Twin Falls Fire all responded to the scene. Right now, the investigation is in primary stages, and the Magic Valley Critical Incident Team is the investigating agency.
Right now, I don't have any reason to believe there's any danger to the public. I believe everybody that's been involved is contained, and we're trying to figure things out.
Now again, the Magic Valley Critical Incident Management Team is the lead agency in this. Right now, we do not have any answers on whether or not anybody was injured in the incident, but we will provide you with details as they become available to us. Reporting live from Twin Falls, Steve Kirch, KMVT News.
Now, your KMVT First Forecast with meteorologist Max Mueller.
We had some interesting weather out there for our day yesterday. A little bit of rain, some ice into some areas, some snow up into the mountains, and those winds also continue to pick up through much of the afternoon into the evening and stayed breezy through the overnight hours. Still seeing some fairly breezy conditions out there. 17 miles an hour right now here into Twin Falls, same into Burley and Rupert. But as the sun starts to come up, especially throughout the rest of the morning and into the afternoon, we're going to start to see things calm down a little bit out there. And it is a chilly start to the day. 28 here into Twin Falls, Jerome, 25 Richfield, 27 into Haley, 21 into Ketchum, 30 Burley and Hagerman right now. We are going to be seeing those temperatures staying on the cool side, but we are going to be seeing plenty of sunshine out there despite those cooler temperatures, and I'll have more on that coming up in my forecast in just a bit. Lane?
Thanks, Max. Well, now let's get to some of your local headlines. St. Luke's says that it will take months to get back on track with the backlog of surgeries. They have around 7,000 to 8,000 surgeries to do, and the process of catching up will stretch over 6 months. The Department of Health and Welfare acknowledges that this will be the case for hospitals statewide, and they say other effects could be felt throughout the new year. With much of the state out of crisis standards of care, vaccine mandates are back in effect for the hospital system in the Gem State. The mandate was to go into effect September 1st, but the COVID-19 situation in Idaho delayed the start. Now, St. Luke's Health System says only 0.6% of their employees are non-compliant. The St. Luke's Health System is asking for the community's help. Ongoing supply chain issues that have led to shortages in aluminum, which is limiting the amount of crutches for the major hospital systems across the nation. As a result, St. Luke's Health System is starting a crutch drive and is asking community members to donate new or gently used crutches that are not being used. A youth-led initiative to change adults' attitudes about selling and providing alcohol to minors will launch this Friday at liquor stores across the Gem State. The hope is to bring awareness to the issue of underage drinking during the holiday season, when youth are more likely to get alcohol from adults that they already know. The Twin Falls Sheriff's Office is asking the community for their help in identifying a person of interest in a credit card crime. The Sheriff's Office would like to talk to this man about a case of improper credit card usage. They're asking the public to identify this person of interest in these photos to help their investigation. If you have any information about this man, please call 208-735-4398. 51,000 residents in Twin Falls. Now, while that's also, they see an additional 40,000 commuters. With the extreme population growth, the police department is stepping up their efforts to keep you safe.
More police officers will soon be on the streets of Twin Falls, thanks to a grant from the Department of Justice. Lieutenant Craig Stott says 4 more police officers will be hired, benefiting not only their department, but you as well.
What this grant really does for us is it helps enhance our community outreach program.
They applied for the grant in June. The grant is for $500,000. So I asked the question, how will the city continue to fund these officers?
The grant is set up to where there's a 25% matching. So basically it's a scale to where most of the federal funding is in the first year or 2, and then that decreases while the local increases.
And Josh Palmer with the City of Twin Falls says the matching grant system is actually a benefit to the city.
If it was just a static grant, so like it expired after a set time, if we didn't have funding for those 4 officers, then they would have to, we couldn't keep them. So by the way that the Department of Justice has set up that grant and having the match system, over time it will just be covering those positions. What it does is helps us get those 4 officers far earlier than we could.
Right now, they have 77 sworn officers, but Stott says they are currently down 5 officers because of recent retirements, which leaves officers having to fill in when others are off. This grant will help alleviate that.
A lot of the people that are assigned to do community outreach are community connection officers with the marginalized groups and communities within our city. They find themselves, not being able to devote enough time to that because of their regular duties. And like I said, because of staffing levels and whatnot.
Elizabeth Hadley, KMVT News.
And now let's take a look at your national headlines. Just about 48 hours after allegedly unleashing horror on a holiday parade, Brooks is facing a judge for the first time and has been charged with 5 counts of first-degree intentional homicide. He's facing a life sentence for each count. Charging documents total 62 people injured in the attack. Brooks is set to appear in court again in January. Brian Laundrie died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. That's according to medical examiner's office in Sarasota, Florida. Laundrie's body was found last month at a Florida environmental park. A lawyer for the Laundrie family says the family is still mourning the loss of their son and hope the findings bring closure to both families. A new poll shows support for stricter gun control is at its lowest level since 2014. According to Gallup, 52% of Americans say the laws covering firearm sales should be stricter. Gallup notes Americans' support for stricter gun laws usually goes up after a high-profile mass shooting and drops during periods without such events. Lower prices may soon be coming to a pump near you. President Biden now giving the okay to lift the lid on an emergency stockpile of oil. This is in the thick of the busy holiday travel season. The White House says the Department of Energy will release 50 million barrels of oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Unruly passengers prepare to pay up. The Federal Aviation Administration just announced fines it's levied against disruptive passengers. The agency says just 8 passengers face fines totaling $161,000. That's the 3rd highest total since the FAA enacted its zero tolerance policy.
Well, obviously, during the pandemic, fewer and fewer people were traveling, and it's one of those things that, unfortunately, I think people are just wound up so tight that, a lot of people, they just kind of go off unhinged, and it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I understand the need to put something like that in place as well.
Right.
Obviously you're in a small confined space, and a lot of these attacks, it seems like, have been against staff, flight attendants and such, who are just trying to do their job. So it's a difficult situation for everybody. I'm sure they never wanted it to come to this point, but you ultimately have to keep everyone safe.
Exactly, and unfortunately, alcohol is often a cause of a lot of these issues.
Yes.
All right, well, coming up, we take a look at what travel will look like across the nation during this holiday weekend. Stay with us.
If you have a birthday coming up and want to be featured on our birthday club, head over to our website, KMVT.com.
And some clear skies out there this morning. That's going to be leading to still some chilly temperatures here as we get into the afternoon. All details coming up in your weather in just a bit. Rise and shine. I'll be right back.
The high price of gas is not enough to stop millions of Americans from visiting family for Thanksgiving.
The holiday is also a major test for airlines as millions of Americans are expected to travel. Earl Barnett joins us from the airport runway.
On a busy travel time like this, it's hectic.
It is one of the first steps in air travel, and the TSA officer, Unique Nikita Lunford, her goal is to help get tens of thousands of travelers through security smoothly.
We absolutely celebrate when it's all over and we can kind of slow down and breathe a little.
For Delta Airlines, it's game time.
Oh, this is our Super Bowl every year. Thanksgiving week is when we see our peak travel demand.
Mark Sparks is Delta's VP of Airport Operations here.
And it may look like chaos to the average person, but there is a ballet that's taking place here.
At any given moment, there's dozens of aircraft and support trucks, plus thousands of airline and airport staff, all coordinating in real time. This area is what passengers don't see. On this day, some 80,000 pieces of checked luggage will be sorted, then loaded onto planes.
It makes us happy that everything finally is getting back to normal.
Karen Barali and Dion Kofa are part of Delta's ground crew. They're thrilled to see the increasing number of holiday travelers this year. But some airlines have struggled to get their footing during the resurgence of air travel during the pandemic. Southwest and American Airlines were hit with major cancellations last month, and many crews continue to deal with the rise in violent confrontations amid mask mandates.
Last year wasn't pretty. It was a dramatic change for us. But one thing about we didn't fold. We didn't give up. We didn't call it quits.
Delta says on Monday they had more than 4,000 flights system-wide and are almost at pre-pandemic levels. This travel rush is rewarding for former Marine and 737 captain Mark Garner.
One of the more gratifying things about flying on the holidays is, at the end of the day, we're going down the escalator and we see families and friends getting together.
And all this is to help you get to where you need to be this holiday season.
I'm excited to just see my mom physically, give her a hug after 2 years almost.
So the next time you look out your aircraft window, spare a thought for the ground crew who usually have only about 45 minutes to completely unload, reset, and reload aircraft, and they do it each and every day, no matter the weather. Errol Barnett, CBS News at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport.
And now, your KMVT forecast with meteorologist Max Mueller.
Well, yesterday we had some interesting weather coming through some areas, some snow up into the mountains, even a little bit of some snowflakes here into the Magic Valley as well, and a little bit of sleet into much of the Magic Valley coming down yesterday afternoon, and that system came through yesterday. We are still seeing some impacts of that from Montana into Wyoming. You can see some snowy conditions through parts of the areas further to the east this morning. But here into Twin Falls, much of Nevada, Utah, we are seeing some much clearer skies out there. And here's what it looked like yesterday at Sun Valley Roundhouse camera here. And we did have a little bit of some fresh snow coming down through the afternoon and evening. A little bit of fake snow being made as well, and some cool conditions overnight allowing for a lot of that snow to be made, which is good news because Sun Valley is opening up tomorrow for the skiers and snowboarders. But this morning you can see now just a whole lot clearer conditions throughout the Wood River Valley up around the mountains further to the north. And we are going to continue to see a whole lot of sunshine for our day today. That's not necessarily going to be leading to warmer temperatures as we go forward, however. And on Futurecast, we are again going to be seeing a whole lot of sunshine throughout the day today. Winds also stayed a little breezy into the overnight hours, and still this morning maybe a little bit breezy at times. But throughout the rest of the day here, after the sun comes up, winds generally going to be decreasing. By the evening hours, really going to be much, much calmer out there. We see some very calm, clear conditions through much of the evening hours into the overnight time period and into Thursday morning. And for Thanksgiving, we are once again seeing some very sunny conditions out there. By the evening hours, we could be seeing some more chances of some clouds moving into the region, but the worst of it going to be moving in after sunset. And we're not expecting any real chances of any rain, snow, or anything like that with it going forward throughout the day tomorrow. And it's going to be making for a pretty relatively quiet day out there for our Thanksgiving. That's good news for anyone who maybe is doing some last-minute Thanksgiving travel across parts of the state here. 35 into Ketchum today for a high, same into Haley, 34 into Cary, 42 into Hagerman, 39 Jerome and Shoshone, 40 Buell, Twin Falls, 39 into Murtaugh, also 39 into Burley, Malta, 37 into Oakley and Albion with those mostly sunny skies. And on the 7-day forecast for the Magic Valley, we see those temperatures get a little bit better for our day tomorrow for Thanksgiving, into the mid-40s, but back closer to 50 by the end of the week here into the weekend. And the one constant here on the 7-day forecast is plenty of sunshine. Really from today onward, we're going to be seeing a whole lot of blue skies out there and not necessarily a lot in terms of cloud cover. The one day that we could be maybe seeing a little bit more cloud cover is up into the Wood River Valley on Friday, when we see some slightly partly cloudy skies out there, maybe a chance of a shower or two, but temperatures get back into the 40s here to end the week, and starting off next week a little closer to 50 up into the mountains. So, you know, it's going to be definitely a little cooler today. Still a little cool, but near average for tomorrow. But then the more kind of comfortable weather returns for the weekend.
Yeah, it's looking like a great start to the ski season. And Max, I do have one correction. It's not fake snow, it's artificial snow.
Yeah, I heard that too. Fake snacks.
It's still skiable.
It's not coming down from the clouds. It's fake snow.
It's artificial.
If I stand under the machine where it pops out, it's like it's coming down from the clouds.
She's got a point, Max.
I guess it's all about, perspective.
It is. All right, we'll stick around, Rise and Shine. I'll be right back. Governor Brad Little has signed on to a pledge with a long list of other conservative governors to address workforce shortages ahead of the holidays. Little signed on to Operation Open Roads, a commitment from American governors to cut red tape and address the workforce shortage to ensure everyday goods are available to Idahoans for the holiday season. The governors are calling on President Biden to suspend the burdensome federal mandate for COVID-19 vaccines for all private employees, specifically for the trucking and transportation industry, so that driver shortages are not further exacerbated by an additional barrier to employment. They state the trucking industry is in need of 80,000 truck drivers, an all-time high. Little said in a statement, quote, "We already cut red tape to enable faster, freer flow of commerce in Idaho, and I am calling on state agencies within my administration today to identify additional specific actions we can take to ensure Idahoans have what they need for the holidays." Governors across America are working to address the supply chain crisis, since the president won't. You okay with this?
Yeah.
I'll take over. When it comes to Thanksgiving in Howard and the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, nothing is more important than the dessert, with what he'll have us, a sweet recipe, what he calls feast-worthy.
Can you believe that Thanksgiving is right around the corner? Time sure does fly by. And whether you're the one hosting this year or just a plain old guest, once the turkey's gone and the first round of dishes are cleaned up, everyone is going to be focused on just one thing: dessert. So, as not to disappoint anyone, we came up with, get this, a caramel peanut pumpkin pie. It's easy, impressive, and it goes together like this. We start by combining the basics of pumpkin pie: canned pure pumpkin, a couple of eggs, some sugar, salt and flour, pumpkin pie spice, and some evaporated milk. After everything is mixed together, we pour it into an unbaked pie crust and pop it in the oven. Once the center is set and our pie has cooled, the fun starts. We pile on a generous amount of whipped cream, drizzle on some caramel sauce, and last but not least, we finish this with some chopped roasted peanuts. They had the perfect crunch. Let me tell you, this is way better than your run-of-the-mill pumpkin pie. To get the recipe for our caramel peanut pumpkin pie, all you need to do is check out our website. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
This is beyond amazing.
Today we found a layer after layer way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Aww. A landmark ruling in the nation's opioid crisis, and get a whiff of this breakfast-inspired wrapping paper. Those stories and more coming up in your Money Watch report. President Biden addressed the public as supply chain issues slowly improved nationwide ahead of the Thanksgiving holiday. The chief executive praised his administration's policies in recent weeks, saying those moves resulted in supply chain progress at a number of ports across the country. President Biden says that his administration will continue to assess and find ways to eradicate supply chain concerns as inflation hits its highest rate in 31 years. Despite this, the president is confident various goods will hit store shelves for the holiday season without significant delays.
Well, it's the store known for its $1 price tag for all products, but not anymore. The bargain chain Dollar Tree is raising its prices for the first time in 3 decades. And surprisingly, it's not due to inflation. By the beginning of 2022, items will be $1.25. Dollar Tree says the price hike will give them more flexibility to bring back customer favorites and also introduce some new items. The company also saying the increase will help with freight and distribution costs as well as wage increases. Dollar Tree has sold products for $1 for 35 years. It was the last of the major dollar store chains to sell everything for $1.
Well, today on your Money Watch report, a mixed market on Wall Street, the first time ever federal ruling, holiday scams, and gift wrapping that you're going to want to hear about. Diane King Hall has more.
Stocks ended mixed yesterday in a holiday-shortened trading week. The Dow rallied 194 points. The Nasdaq lost 79, and the S&P 500 added 7. For the first time ever, a federal jury has ruled 3 major pharmacy chains are liable for their role in distributing opioids. The verdict yesterday found CVS, Walgreens, and Walmart responsible for not stopping the painkillers from flowing into 2 Ohio counties. All 3 retailers plan to appeal. You better watch out, and you might want to shout as federal authorities warn about holiday scams. The FBI says the 2 most prevalent crimes this time of year are non-delivery and non-payment scams. The Federal Trade Commission says be on the lookout for social media scams, which are, quote, hotbeds for deception. For instance, scammers may advertise the chance to win something, but then include malicious links that seek to steal personal data. And the gift wrap that keeps on giving. Hormel is gift wrapping its bacon for the holiday season, literally. The brand says its black label bacon wrapping paper comes with the sizzling aroma of the breakfast staple in a decorative weave pattern. Register this week for a chance to win a slab of the savory stuff at wrapbyblacklabel.com. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com at the New York Stock Exchange. I'm Diane King Hall.
So, I guess that's the thing. For those that have everything, now you need bacon-scented wrapping paper.
Well, I'll tell you what, anyone who has a dog or a cat has probably had them get into 1 or 2 gifts before. Good luck. I couldn't have that. My dog would be eating all the presents.
Oh, definitely, for sure. All right, well, stick around. Rise and Chat. I'll be right back.